We are drawn to stories that begin with a chilling and shakable preface. This really happened. That simple phrase shatters the comfortable barrier between fantasy and reality. The fictional ghost can be dismissed when the lights come on. Its power confined to the page, but the true story, it lingers. It takes root in the quiet corners of your mind. It revisits you in the stillness of a sleepless night, and the unexplained creak of a settling house, and the fleeting shadow that seems just a little too deliberate. It becomes a part of your personal landscape of fear. Tonight, we are not weaving fiction. We are stepping across a threshold into the realm of documented events, of sworn testimonies and police files. These are 5 horror stories, meticulously rooted in the unsettling soil of true events. 1. The Watcher in the Walls. In 2014, a young family achieved a classic dream, purchasing a beautiful, stately home on a serene street in Westfield, New Jersey. It promised a lifetime of memories. Their hope was short-lived. The first letter arrived, addressed not by name, but by a title, The New Owner. Its opening line was a quiet accusation. "How did you end up here?" The writer identified only as the Watcher. This was a declaration of ownership. The letter displayed disturbing, intimate knowledge, comments on the children, observations of renovations. It spoke of a generational duty. "My grandfather watched the house in the 1920s and my father watched in the 1960s. It is now my time." More letters followed, each more unnerving, asking if they had found what is in the walls yet. The dream home became a gilded prison. Security cameras turned inward, recording nothing but the family-owned fear. The police, while sympathetic, found no suspect. The terror was psychological, a slow poison eroding their sense of safety. They were haunted not by a specter of the past, but by a present, active intelligence claiming the house and them as its birthright. Financially and emotionally broken, they fled. The house later sold to a developer. Notably, this new owner has never received a letter. This chilling detail suggests the obsession was not with the bricks and mortar, but with the living, breathing family unit within it. The Watcher only speaks when a home is made. The true haunting was not within the walls, but in the malignant, patient intent of the one watching from beyond them. 2. The Smiling Man. A dance with the absurdly terrifying. Some true horror involves encounters that defy rational understanding, leaving witnesses questioning the very fabric of reality. This account comes from a credible man, his testimony documented. Walking home in the deep quiet of the early hours, he saw a figure under a streetlight. The man wore a fine but rumpled suit and moved with an unusual, prancing gait. As the distance closed, a witness saw his face. He was smiling. Not a smile of joy, but an impossibly wide, rigid rictus, a mask of fixed glee stretched taut over his features. Then, the man began to pirouette, spinning with a strange grace in the empty street, his unblinking eyes and horrific smile locked forward. A primal fear took hold. The witness crossed the street. Immediately, the smiling man ceased spinning and mirrored him, closing the distance. His walk became a deliberate, predatory stalk. The witness quickened his pace to a jog. The smiling man kept perfect pace, but his movements degenerated into a jerky, erratic parody of motion, arms flailing, legs kicking out sideways, yet advancing with relentless intent. The witness broke into a full run. A glance back revealed the smiling man running too, but his sprint was a nightmare contortion, limbs splaying impossibly, his body a frenzied marionette, all while that plastic, unwavering grin remained cemented in place. The witness fled to the safety of a store's fluorescent lights. Police found nothing. No trace. The encounter was brief but existentially scarring. It was less an encounter with a man and more with a phenomenon, a glitch in reality. Wearing a suit, whose sole purpose seemed to be the performance of pure, absurd dread. 3. The black-eyed children, the polite nightmares at the door emerging from modern folklore are reports so consistent they demand attention. The scenario is eerily uniform: late at night, a knock at a secluded door or a tap on a car window. Standing there are what appear to be two children. Their clothing is often slightly off-dated or too formal. Their demeanor is polite but flat. Their voice is a monotone. They make a simple, reasonable request: please, can I come in? I need to use your phone, or can you give me a ride? I'm lost. The horror reveals itself when you meet their gaze. Their eyes are not simply dark. They are pools of sheer, solid black. Velvety, light-absorbing voids where the white and iris should be. Concurrent with this sight is an overwhelming, physiological wave of primal dread. It is a deep, biological imperative screaming that these are not children, that they are profoundly wrong, and that they must never be invited across the threshold. Whether interpreted as a psychological epidemic or something more literal, the archetype taps into a fundamental fear: the violation of sanctuary. They are the ultimate polite nightmare, entities that know their power is complete only once you willingly let them in. 4. The phone call from within, the echo of a murder. Some true horror is a single, inexplicable event that fractures a family's world. This revolves around the 1972 murder of a teenage girl in her family home. Days after the funeral, her grieving family sat together in a haze of sorrow. The telephone rang, shattering the silence. The mother answered. She heard wet, ragged breathing, then a voice choked, desperate, and unmistakably her daughter's. It was him. It was him. Mom, it was him. Then, the line went dead. Terrified, the family called the police, who traced the call. The result was impossible. The call had not come from an outside line. According to the trace, it originated from inside the family's own home. Specifically, from the very telephone the mother had just been holding. The line had been dead. No one had touched it to place a call. The police had no logical explanation. The event presents two equally unbearable truths. Was it a final, psychic cry from the victim's spirit, a fragment of trauma echoing from beyond to name her killer? Or was it a grotesque taunt from the murderer themselves, who had remained hidden, using some perverse method to mimic a daughter's voice and deepen the wound? The truth died with that silent telephone, leaving behind a legacy of two haunting possibilities, each more chilling than the last. 5. The third parent, the unseen resident. Our final story ventures into the fragile psychology of childhood and the fear of what a child might see that adults cannot. A couple grew concerned about their young son. He had begun drawing an extra figure in every family picture: a tall, featureless silhouette he called the man. He explained calmly that the man lived with them, always stood and watched, and was very, very patient. Seeking answers, the parents installed a nanny cam. The footage was not of an intruder, but of their son, awake at 3 a.m., conducting a whispered, two-way conversation with the empty corner of his room. He would nod, smile, and then his eyes would carefully track something unseen as it moved across the room and out the door. The final piece came from the audio. The father, reviewing the tape, clearly heard his son's soft question to the emptiness: when are you going to make mommy and daddy go away, so it can just be us? The family moved shortly after. In the new house, the drawing stopped. The boy never mentioned the man again. The question remains, was the man a complex imaginary friend, a coping mechanism for unspoken stress? Or did this boy possess the terrible gift of perceiving a third, parasitic occupant, an entity that did not haunt with noise, but with silent, patient presence, slowly aligning itself with the child while waiting for the parents to be removed from its desired future. We have journeyed through 5 documented landscapes of fear: the generational stalker, the absurd dancer, the polite nightmares at the threshold, the ghostly call from a crime scene, and the patient unseen in the nursery. These are not mere tales. They are case files from the borderlands of our understanding, cracks through which we glimpse a stranger, darker world. So we ask you, now, which of these truths resonated most deeply? Which one will visit you in your next moment of quiet? Let us know in the comments below. Your perspective adds to the story. If these journeys into the documentary have gripped you, please give this video a thumbs up. It helps us continue this exploration. Share it with a friend who isn't afraid to question what's real. And subscribe, hitting the notification bell, to ensure you never miss our next foray into the shadows where fact and fear intertwine. Remember, the most compelling horror always bears the weight of possibility. So tonight, listen closely to the silence of your home. Thank you for watching. Stay curious, but stay safe. Good night.